Hi everyone, welcome back. You're joining for the 6 p.m. flow. Today's mantra is all about empathy and confronting those struggles and conflicts instead of evading them. In a fearful world, we have the tendency to accentuate every aspect that is different between person one and person two. Yes, we are all unique and different and special, but through it all, we are much more the same than we are different. True change demands us to do the work within ourselves. True change demands us to find the pockets of our community and have our voices heard. If we devote ourselves to love ourselves so much that we can love others without judgment and barriers. So with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and get started today. In Supta Baddha Konasana, which if you're like, what the heck is that? No worries. You come all the way down onto your shoulder blades. As they press against the earth, we bring the soles of the feet together to kiss, and both knees jet out in opposite directions. Options to place the palm onto the earth for more of a grounding practice. Or maybe you flip the palms towards the ceiling to feel all this beautiful energy we're about to create as a community. Maybe looking for an introspective practice today with one palm on the heart center and the other palm underneath the low belly, feeling that prana, feeling that energy within yourself. Not worrying about your breath here. Seeing if you can just settle into your mat. Seeing if you can let the day roll away from you. Any chaos, any anger that you feel for whatever's going on right now. Can you let that go? Can you be here on your mat, focusing on self-love and self-care? Starting to bring our awareness to our breath, we take a full breath in, fill the belly, fill the lungs, let the collarbone expand, holding this breath at the top of the throat, and then opening the mouth, audible exhale, let something go. Ha! If it's that audible breath that you're craving, feel free to let loose. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs, let the chest rise. Hold this breath at the top of the throat. And then open the mouth, let an audible breath go. Ha! Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding the breath and then exhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, same intensity, fill the belly, fill the lungs, let the collarbone expand. And then exhale through the mouth for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, build the belly breath, full breath here. And this time we're sealing our lips and letting the heat escape through both nostrils. Starting to dial into your Ujjayi pranayama or your victorious breath. A fancy way of saying you're creating a slight constriction in the back of your throat, as if you're fogging up a glass or a mirror. Starting to bring that heat, that intensity within yourself. As that oceanic sound builds in and out of the body. Dialing into that Darth Vader breath coming from the back of the throat. I invite you to set an intention here, or a mantra for this week. While it's empathy, maybe it's something or someone that inspires you. Maybe you're dedicating this breath, this practice, to someone who can't breathe, someone who does not have this breath, or someone that inspires you to do better. Whatever that intention is, hone in, filling the belly, filling the lungs, filling your body and heart with that intention. And then exhale, letting that breath go. Starting to send that breath to those hips. And then starting to blink the eyes open. Maybe a slight gaze towards the nose. We bring the palms on the outside of the thighs and then slowly close our knees together like a book. Being kind to those hips, we were in that pose for a while. Maybe you bring the knees towards the chest to give yourself a squeeze. Inhale, lift the heels high to the sky, creating an L shape with our bodies. Squeezing those thighs together, dorsiflexing those fins, sending the toes towards the shins. On this next inhale, you have the option to lift the shoulder blades off the earth, reaching past those thighs, starting to activate and fire up that strength within our core. Holding here in stillness for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Maybe you start to lift the shoulders a little bit higher off the earth. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Start to create low back circles here. First, moving in a clockwise direction, giving your low back some love. And then switching the direction to counterclockwise. Inhale, both knees into the chest, and then sending the heels out in front of us. So we're bringing our low back onto the earth here. Option to keep the shoulders onto the earth, or option to up level here by lifting the shoulders off the earth. Reaching past those thighs and holding in stillness again for 10, 9, 8, 7. Really starting to turn our core on here, activating in that front body for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees into the chest. Start to roll those circles again. Giving that low back lots of love, maybe switching the direction to counterclockwise. Inhale, both heels high to the sky, that L shape one more time. Squeezing those thighs together. Inhale, option to lift the shoulders off the earth and reach past those thighs. This time we're pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7. Lift the shoulder blades a little bit higher off the earth. You got this, yogis. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees into the chest. Start to create rock and roll motions. Up and down the spine, giving your whole back some love here. Maybe finding some hang time on that tailbone. And then when you're ready, after you've done a few rock and rolls, can you find that momentum crossing at the ankles and coming into a neutral tabletop at the top of your mat? In this neutral tabletop pose, our wrists are directly underneath the shoulder blades, knees are underneath the hips, about hips width distance apart. Untucking the toes, dropping the belly low, sending the gaze high, bolstering your heart towards the stars, cow pose. Exhale, can you ground down into the palms, round the spine, gazes to the navel, cat pose. Inhale, drop the belly low, bolster your heart high, send your tailbone towards the ceiling, cow pose. Exhale, grounding down into the palms, round the spine, gazes to the navel, cat pose. Inhale, coming back to neutral tabletop. Just a reminder for all you beautiful babies watching that this is your practice. This is your time for yourself, for self-love and self-care. Maybe you're here for the people who can't be, so honor your body, honor your breath, and let your body and breath be your ultimate guide. Gaze is in between the palms here, wrists directly underneath the shoulder blades, knees underneath the hips, paying attention to those architectural lines. Tucking those toes and then rising 2.5 inches off the earth. I want you to feel your strength here. In this lifted tabletop, pushing the earth away from you, slightly protracting in your shoulder blades and sending your gaze in between the palms. Finding that ujjayi breath, that pranayama here. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping down to the knees, untucking the toes, 1 cat-cow to reset. Drop the belly low, send the gaze high, open your heart towards the stars. And then exhale, ground down into the palms, round the spine, slightly protracting the shoulder blades, gazes to the navel. Inhale, coming back to neutral. Left palm starts to trace the right hand here, and then opening up towards the left side for just a moment. Taking one big breath here, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, goalposting the arms, finding a slight heart opening, sending the gaze towards the ceiling. And then exhale, release, bringing the left palm down. One cat-cow to reset, drop the belly low, open up the chest. And then exhale, round the spine, gazes to the navel. Coming back to that neutral tabletop. Right palm traces the left, opening up here towards the opposite side. Can you take one full breath here? Exhale, goalpost the arms, finding that opening in your chest. And then exhale, release back down to neutral tabletop. Here in this neutral tabletop, paying attention to those architectural lines, creating a strong foundation for ourselves. Tucking those toes, rising 2.5 inches off the earth one more time. Finding familiarity in this pose and building strength. Planting the palms into the earth, gazes in between the palms, slightly protracting the shoulder blades here. Holding here in stillness for 10, 9, 8, 7, find that breath, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lifting the hips high to the sky and then sending the heels towards the earth. We're creating an inverted V shape with our body here, Ardha Mukha Svanasana, or downward facing dog. In this downward facing dog, our feet are hips width distance apart. Our palms are a little bit wider than shoulder width distance. Grounding down into the base knuckle of the index finger and the thumb, gazes in between the ankles to elongate the neck. In this downward facing dog, can you start to create a little bit of movement here? Maybe generously bending in both knees. Maybe removing the tension from the neck by rocking it back and forth. Finding stillness here, take one full inhale here, fill the belly. And then exhale, release into that inverted V shape. Gaze is in between the palms. We slowly walk, step, jump, hop, or float to the top of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana, creating a number 7 with our spine. Plugging those shoulders into the back wall and then slightly tucking our chin in towards the chest. We have a flat back here, so as if your favorite plate of food or maybe a glass of wine is behind you. Take one full inhale here. Exhale, release the chest down towards the shin, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, grounding down, reach all the way up, gazes in between the palms. Maybe you take a slight back bend here. Exhale, swan dive, leading with the chest, hinging at the hips, coming back down to your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana, creating that flat back, number 7. And then exhale, planting the palms, moving into your high plank. In this high plank, building strength once again. Pressing the palms into the earth, slightly protracting the shoulder blades, gazes in between the palms. Can you slightly tuck that tailbone in? Take one full inhale here. Exhale, option to drop down to the knees if this is too much, tucking the elbows into the ribs, and then lowering down for that low plank. Holding in this low plank for one inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, push the earth away from you, high plank. Tuck those elbows in towards the ribs, lower down, option to drop the knees if you'd like. And then push the earth away from you on that exhale for high plank. Last one, yogis, you got this. Tuck the elbows in towards the ribs and slowly lower all the way down onto the belly. Untucking the toes, finding yourself in a low cobra or bhujangasana. In this low cobra, our shoelace portion of our feet are grounding down into the earth. Our palms are planted into the mat underneath our shoulder blades, and we're sending our elbows to magnetize towards one another. Maybe you test your strength here by lifting your palms off the earth, taking one big inhale here. Exhale, bring those elbows towards one another, find a little bit more length through the spine, and then planting the palms, rolling over the toes, finding that downward facing dog. In this downward facing dog, taking one breath to reset. Inhale, both heels lift high to the sky. Exhale, can you sink those hips a little bit deeper into the earth? Gaze is in between the palms. We walk, step, jump, hop, or float to the top of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift out of the Uttanasana, number 7. Exhale, forward fold. Finding some fluidity in the sun A. Inhale, root to rise, reach all the way up. Gaze is in between the palms. Active listening, we're going to goalpost the arms here. Send the tailbone towards the front of your mat. Take a slight back bend. And then coming back through center. Swan dive, leading with the heart, hinging at the hips. Coming down to that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the palms, high plank. Finding our journey to your vinyasa, making sure we tuck those elbows into the ribs, chaturanga check-in. Lower down to that low plank. Upward facing dog this time, pressing the palms into the earth, sending the shoulders away from the ears. Can you take one full expansive breath here? Maybe slightly tucking the chin. On that exhale, rolling over the toes, finding that downward facing dog. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs, lift the heels. Exhale, send them down to the earth, reset. One more sun A for good measure to really get things moving. Try to move through one breath per movement. Inhale, gaze is in between the palms. We walk, step, jump, hop, or float. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, rise all the way up, gazes in between the palms. Maybe you take that slight back bend with goalpost arms. And then coming back through center. Swan dive, leading with the heart, hinging at the hips, come all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, high to low plank, you flow, you grow. Tuck those elbows in towards the ribs as you lower down. Upward facing dog, pulling the chest through, opening up. And then exhale, rolling over the toes, finding that downward facing dog. In this downward facing dog, bringing both feet together to touch at the back of your mat. I call this one zip up dog. You're sending your navel in towards the spine, gazes towards the ankles. Take one full breath. Exhale, release. Inhale, right foot lifts high to the sky, 3-legged dog. Option to keep that toe pointed, or maybe you find squareness in the hips by sending the right toes towards the earth. Bending at the knee here, and then starting to create these big circles. First, moving clockwise, getting juicy in the synovial fluid of this right hip. And then if it feels good, maybe you switch the direction to counterclockwise. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in, give that knee a kiss, shoulders over wrists. 3-legged dog. Right knee to right elbow, make a connection, hold. 3-legged dog. Right knee to left elbow, cross body, feel that oblique work. 3-legged dog. Right knee towards the nose, round the spine, crunch it in, plant the right foot in between the palms. Active listening, we're rising the right palm high to the sky, finding that easy twist. In this easy twist, we take one big inhale here. Exhale, goalposting the arms, sending the gaze towards the ceiling, finding an opening in that heart. And then releasing back down to that easy twist. Slow and controlled, bringing all the weight onto this left side, finding Vashisthasana side plank. You have that option to modify by dropping this knee, or option to up level by lifting that top leg up, maybe grabbing for the toe or the heel. Holding in this side plank for 5. 4, you're stronger than you think, yogis. Push this left palm into the earth, send your hips a little bit higher. 3, 2, 1, right palm comes down to the earth. Maybe that right foot stays lifted for a 1-legged chaturanga. Tucking those elbows in towards the ribs as you lower down. Upward facing dog, pull the chest through. Exhale, big toes come together to touch. Sending the chest down towards the earth, bringing the third eye center down for child's pose. In this child's pose, bringing your awareness back to that intention. Why is it that you showed up on your mat today? Finding your breath, finding your voice. Take one big inhale here. Exhale, release the chest down, release the third eye towards the earth. Inhale, walking the palms close to the body, finding yourself back in that downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana, bringing both feet together to touch at the back of your mat for that zip up dog. Navel to spine, gaze is in between the ankles. Take one full inhale here. And then exhale, lifting the left foot high to the sky. Maybe you point the toe, or maybe you find squareness in the hip by sending the left toes towards the earth. Bending into this left knee here and then starting to draw those big circles with that knee. My hips are a little tight today, so really get juicy here and create whatever movement that feels good. Switching the direction to counterclockwise. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in, protract the shoulder blades. Maybe you give that knee a kiss. Three-legged dog. Left knee to left elbow, make a connection, hold. Three-legged dog. Left knee to right elbow, cross body, hold. Inhale, three-legged dog. Left knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in, really activate the core here. When you protract in the shoulder blades, it should give you the lift to bring the left foot in between the palms. Right palm comes down to the earth, left palm lifts high to the sky for that easy twist. Take one expansive breath here through that left lung. Inhale, fill up. Exhale, goal posting the arms, sending the gaze towards the ceiling, finding a slight heart opening here. Ooh, and then releasing back through center. Slow and controlled, starting to bring all the weight onto this right side for Vashisthasana side plank. Option to drop that bottom knee down, or maybe you up level, bringing that left leg high to the sky, finding a version of that Vashisthasana that better suits you. If you're in this Vashisthasana, can you push the earth away from you with this right palm to lift the left hip a little bit higher? Holding here for 4, 3, 2, 1. You got this, yogis. Left palm comes down to meet the right. Keeping that left foot lifted, maybe you keep it up for a one-legged chaturanga. Upward facing dog, pull the chest through. Exhale, big toes come together to touch, sending the chest down towards the earth. Child's pose. In this child's pose, coming back to that intention. Coming back to that breath. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, release. Inhale, start to walk the palms close to the body, finding that downward facing dog once again. Bringing both feet together to touch at the back of your mat for that zip up dog. Taking one collective breath together. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, release. Right foot lifts high to the sky, three-legged dog, scorpion tailing right heel towards left glute. If that right armpit shoots up towards the ceiling, can you square it off, grounding down evenly into both palms? Maybe you start to create those circles once again with that knee moving clockwise. And then switching the direction to counterclockwise. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in, give that knee a kiss. Three-legged dog. Right knee to right elbow. If it makes a connection, hold. Active listening, we're sliding that right knee down towards the wrist. Just for a moment, and then shooting that right leg back up. Three-legged dog. Right knee to left elbow, cross-body hold. Inhale, three-legged dog. Right knee towards the nose, round the spine, crunch it in, activate the core, and plant the right foot in between the palms. We're pivoting that left foot to 45 degrees, and then rising up for Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. In this Warrior 1, take a moment to find your alignment. We're creating a right angle here with this right knee. Our back foot is pivoted to 45 degrees, gaze is in between the palms, letting the shoulder blades melt away from the ears. Can you squeeze those inner thighs together, activate in those glutes? Take one big inhale here. Exhale, bringing the palms behind you to find a bind, lifting the chest as you clasp your hands, and then surrendering your heart down for a humble warrior. In this humble warrior, your shoulder blades are on the inside of the right thigh. Can you use your fists as a steering agent to send that right hip back? Take one breath in this humble warrior. Fill the belly, fill the lungs. Maybe sending the crown of your head a little bit closer towards your mat. Inhale, releasing the bind, rising all the way up to warrior one. We were just here. If that right quad is talking to you, you got this, yogis. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, pivoting the back foot and then committing to the bend to this right knee, finding Virabhadrasana 2 or Warrior 2. In this Warrior 2, we're squaring our hips off towards the left. Gaze is towards the right, fingertips releasing the shoulders to melt down the spine. Reaching for something you desire and then sending that palm back for peaceful warrior, committing to that bend in the right knee. Straightening in both legs here, reaching for something you desire with this right palm. And then surrendering down, finding Trikonasana triangle pose. In this Trikonasana, think of yourself in a toaster. A perfect piece of toast sliding in as if your body's in 2 panes of glass. Slightly tuck that tailbone in, sending your drishti or gaze towards this left fingertip. Take one full breath here. Trying not to dump all the weight into this right palm. Maybe you plant the palm into the shin to lift that chest a little bit higher. Inhale, reaching behind you, reverse Trikonasana, straightening in both legs. And then cartwheeling the palms to frame this right foot. Shortening your stance generously, finding that pyramid pose. Before you melt the heart down, can you inhale, lift the chest, lengthen through the spine, grow a little bit taller. And then exhale, sending the chest down towards this right thigh, finding your pyramid pose. Maybe you shorten your stance generously, and that's totally okay. If this is enough for you, getting juicy in this right hamstring, you can stay here. If you're with me, maybe you bring the right toes towards the face for a deeper stretch. Maybe you come into flamingo pose by bringing the palms behind you to face the back of your mat. Bringing all the weight into this right foot and then sending the left knee towards the right, tinking that toe up for flamingo. Wherever you are in your pyramid pose, take one full inhale here. And then exhale, releasing that foot down. Bringing the palms to frame this right foot, left heel comes high to the sky, standing split. In this standing split, can you send those left toes towards the earth to square off the hips? Maybe you have a slight bend towards this right knee, sending the chest closer towards the thighs. If handstand hops are in your practice, you're more than welcome to play. If you're with me, I'm bringing the palms into heart center or keeping them onto the earth for a little bit more stability. Running through 3 Shiva squats, palms into heart center. Left knee comes down towards the right ankle, open up the chest for 1, taking your time here. Left foot lifts high to the sky. Left knee down towards the ankle for 2. Open up the chest. Standing split. Last one, yogis. You got this. You're stronger than you think. Left knee towards right ankle. Open up the chest. And then plant the palms towards the earth, finding that standing split one more time. Left heels high to the sky. Slow and controlled, releasing that left foot down towards the right. Grabbing opposite elbows here, finding your ragdoll pose. In this ragdoll pose, bending in both knees, inviting the chest to kiss the thighs. Finding that decompression in your neck and spine. We're going to run through a few lion's breath here. All that aggravation, all the hate and upset that you might feel in this moment. Can you inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, stick that tongue out, let that shit go. Ha! One more time, lion's breath. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, stick that tongue out, let that shit go. Ha! Letting the head hang heavy. Planting the palms towards the earth here. And then slow and controlled, slowly starting to vertebrae by vertebrae rise all the way up. The crown of your head is the last thing that lifts towards the sky. And then taking just a moment here into Tadasana Mountain Pose. Inhale, root to rise, reach all the way up. Exhale, maybe you goalpost the arms, find that slight back bend here, sending your hips forward. And then releasing down, finding that forward fold, leading with the heart, palms come down to the earth. Halfway lift out of the Uttanasana, exhale, plant the palms, choosing your journey for your vinyasa. High to low plank, tucking those elbows in towards the ribs, Chaturanga check-in. Upward facing dog, really lift the chest here. And then exhale, big toes come together to touch. Finding your chest to meet the earth, finding your downward facing dog. Taking this opportunity to towel off. Maybe grabbing some water here. Maybe using this moment to come back to your intention. Choosing to ground down, choosing to find love within ourselves. One more inhale here, fill the belly, fill the lungs, find stillness in your child's pose. And then exhale, release. Inhale, start to walk the palms close to the body, finding that downward facing dog, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. In this downward facing dog, both feet come together to touch, zip up dog. Taking one collective breath here as a community. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, release. Left heel comes high to the sky, three-legged dog. Watch out for your plant babies. Scorpion tailing this left heel towards right glute. If that left armpit shoots up towards the ceiling in the scorpion tail, can you square that chest off towards your mat, sending that armpit towards the earth? Starting to draw those big circles with the left knee, first moving clockwise. And then switching the direction to counterclockwise. Inhale, three-legged dog, left leg high to the sky. Exhale, left knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in. Maybe you give that knee a kiss. Three-legged dog. Left knee to left elbow, find that connection. We're sliding that knee down towards the wrist. And then inhale, bringing that left foot back up, three-legged dog. You got this, yogis. Left knee towards the right elbow, cross body. Feel those obliques work. Three-legged dog. Left knee towards the nose, really round the spine. Plant the left foot in between the palms. We're pivoting our right foot to 45 degrees and then rising up here for Virabhadrasana 1 or Warrior 1. In this Warrior 1, we're creating a right angle with this left knee. Our back foot is pivoted to 45 degrees, gazes in between the palms. Let the shoulder blades melt down. If there was a laser coming out of my left heel, it should directly bisect my right. My right heel or my right foot. Take one big inhale here. Exhale, release the palms behind you, creating a little bind, lifting the chest and heart towards the sky. And then surrendering the heart down towards the earth, finding that humble warrior. In this humble warrior, on the inside of this left thighs are both shoulder blades. Maybe you start to use the fists to bring that left hip back as a steering agent. Take one more full inhale here. Exhale, maybe you release the crown of the head a little bit closer towards your mat. Inhale, rising up with control, releasing the bind, and then finding your way back into that Warrior 1 just for a moment. You're stronger than you think, yogis. Control the breath, control the mind. You got this. Inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, pivoting the right foot and then committing to the bend in that Warrior 2. Hips are squared towards the right. Drishti or gaze is in between the left fingers. Let the shoulder blades melt down lower. Reaching forward and then finding peaceful warrior as the right palm melts down the right leg. Straightening in both legs here, reaching for something you desire with this left palm. Hinging at the hips and then coming all the way down for that Trikonasana triangle pose. Tucking that tailbone in, gazes to the right fingertips here. Trying not to dump all the weight into this right foot, right palm. Maybe you press the left palm into the shin, gazes to the right fingertips. Sorry, yogis, I forgot my left and right. Inhale, reverse Trikonasana, reaching behind you. And then cartwheeling the palms to frame this left foot. Shortening that stance, finding your pyramid pose. But before you surrender the heart down, can you lift the chest, find length in your spine, grow a little bit taller. And then releasing the heart down towards this left shin. A few options to get juicy in this left hamstring. Maybe this is enough for you. Maybe you're looking for a little bit more and you lift the left toes towards the face. Maybe coming into that flamingo pose, palms come behind you to face the back of your mat. Bringing the weight into this left foot and then taking the right toes towards the earth, sending the right knee behind the left. In this flamingo pose or pyramid pose, take one more full breath. And then exhale, releasing the right foot down towards the earth. Palms come to frame this left foot, launching off, lifting the right heel, finding your standing split. In the standing split, can you send the right toes towards the earth to square off the hip? Option for a few handstand hops here if you're inversion junkies and you're here to play. If you're with me, I'm running through 3 Shiva squats. So maybe bringing my fingertips to kind of slightly raise and tent on the top of my mat. Or maybe I bring them into my heart center for a little bit more of a challenge. Right knee down towards the left ankle, opening up the chest here, taking your time for 1. Exhale, slow and controlled, right heel comes high to the sky. Right knee towards left ankle, open up the chest for 2. Exhale, standing split. You got this, yogis. 1 more. Right knee towards left ankle, open up the chest. Exhale, plant the palms towards the earth, finding that standing split. Releasing the right foot down towards the left, finding that ragdoll pose. Bringing the feet to about hips-width distance apart. Grabbing opposite elbows for ragdoll pose. A slight bend in both knees here, inviting the chest to kiss the thighs and letting the head hang heavy. Finding that decompression in your neck and spine, can you take a halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, release. Bringing the toes to slightly face towards one another for a slight inner rotation of the thighs. Bending at the knee, rising up, finding Utkatasana chair pose. Sitting in that imaginary chair here. So take a look at your alignment. If your knees surpass your toes, can you bring that butt back? Finding the natural curvature of your spine, gazes in between the palms, letting the shoulders melt down. As if you're trying to rip your mat into grounding down into the mat, finding those outer glutes turn on. Just like life, yogis, when things get tough, we stay up. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Releasing down, grabbing opposite elbows here, ragdoll pose. In this ragdoll pose, taking 1 lion's breath, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Stick that tongue out, let something go here. Ha. 1 more time, finding that release. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, release. Planting both palms towards the earth. Maybe finding that crow pose if that's in your practice. Choosing your journey back to your vinyasa, high to low plank. Tuck those elbows in towards the ribs. Option to drop that bottom knee down. Upward facing dog, pull the chest through. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. In this downward facing dog, our active resting pose. Taking this opportunity to come back to that idea, to come back to that mantra today. True change happens when we find that something inside of us, that fire that fuels us. Our voices matter. What we say, think, and do matters. Taking 1 full inhale here, lifting both heels high to the sky. And then exhale, bringing the knees down towards the earth, finding that child's pose for just a moment. Coming back to that intention, remembering that true change demands us to do work within ourselves. Taking one more expansive breath here, coming back to that intention. And then walking the palms back up, finding that downward facing dog. Bringing both feet together to touch at the back of our mat. Right foot lifts high to the sky, three-legged dog. Scorpion tailing that right heel towards left glute. If that right armpit shoots up towards the ceiling, can you square it off towards your mat? Grounding down into this left palm if you're ready for that flip dog, flipping over and reaching for something you desire with this right palm. Maybe moving into full wheel if that's in your practice. Take one full inhale here. Exhale, slow and controlled, right palm comes down to the earth. Right foot lifts high to the sky, three-legged dog. Right knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in, give that knee a kiss. Three-legged dog. Right knee to right elbow. If EPK is in your practice and you'd like to fly, you're more than welcome. If you're with me, coming back into that three-legged dog with your right foot high to the sky. And then right knee to left elbow, cross body hold. Active listening, we're sliding that right foot down and then rising that left palm up, finding that fallen triangle or reverse wild thing. In this wild thing, can you use this right palm to push the earth away from you, sending your chest a little bit higher? And then releasing that left palm down towards the earth. Right foot comes back high to the sky, three-legged dog. Right knee in towards the nose, round the spine, crunch it in, plant that right foot in between the palms. Pivoting that back foot to 45 degrees and then rising up for Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs here. And then exhale, releasing the palms behind you, lifting the chest, surrendering that heart down for Humble Warrior. In this Humble Warrior, can you take one inhale here? Bringing the fists to come back, squaring off the hips towards the back of the mat. We're grounding down into this right foot here. Our big balancing move of this sequence, grounding down into the right foot, rising up, finding that Warrior 3 with the bind. In this Warrior 3 pose, we have a slight bend to the right knee. Our back foot is pivoted down, facing the earth to square off that hip. Finding that up dog quality in the chest, take one big inhale here. Releasing that back foot down, finding that Warrior 1 just for a moment. Fill the belly, fill the lungs. You got this, yogis. Exhale, pivoting that back foot, committing to the bend into this right knee. Reaching for something you desire, finding that reverse warrior. And then straightening in both legs, moving into Trikonasana triangle pose. Reverse Trikonasana, straightening in both legs, reaching behind you. And then active listening, we're bending back into that right knee, finding Warrior 2. In this Warrior 2, coming into a different variation here. Maybe coming onto the right toes, squaring the hips off towards the left side, maybe crossing at the wrists here, finding a little bit of strength. Take one full breath here. Exhale, straightening in both legs, pivoting the right toe towards the left side. Grabbing opposite hips here and then bending generously in both knees. Flat back, sending the chest all the way down, finding a wide-legged forward fold. A few options in this wide-legged forward fold. If inversions are in your practice, you're more than welcome to play. If you're with me, I'm bringing my palms down towards the earth, taking a halfway lift to lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, release. Left palm reaches for the right ankle, opening up the left palm towards the front of the room, finding that flat back. Take a halfway lift. Releasing down through center. Right palm reaches for the left ankle, opening up the chest here. Take a halfway lift. And then exhale, release. Bending slightly in both knees, grabbing both hips. And to avoid hyperextension, rising up, flat back. Standing straight. Both toes are pivoted towards the front of the room here. Planting the palms down towards the earth. Sweeping that right foot all the way back, maybe keeping it lifted for a one-legged chaturanga. As you finish your vinyasa, tucking those elbows in towards the ribs, upward facing dog. And then exhale, bringing both knees into the chest, finding your way in a modified hero's pose. Taking a moment of gratitude in this hero's pose, maybe bringing the palms into heart center. Taking a moment of gratitude here for our capable beating hearts. A moment of gratitude for our breath. Imagining being there, unable to breathe. Repeating, I can't breathe. Here in this moment of gratitude, finding our breath. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, release. Can you be here fully for this last side? Can you give this last side your all, finding that strength within yourself? Taking one more breath here in this modified hero's pose. Coming back to that intention, bringing the palms into hearts, the palm down to your mat, and then finding that downward facing dog. Both feet come together to touch, zip up dog, sending the navel towards the spine. Left heel comes high to the sky. Scorpion tailing left heel towards right glute. If that left armpit shoots up towards the ceiling, can you square off towards your mat? Grounding down into this right foot, finding that flip dog if it is in your practice, reaching for something you desire with this left palm. Maybe finding full wheel, take one inhale here, pushing the right palm into the earth to lift your chest a little bit higher. And then left palm comes down, left foot lifts, three-legged dog. Left knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in, give that knee a kiss. Three-legged dog. Left knee to left elbow, make a connection. If EPK is in your practice and you'd like to fly, you're more than welcome. Meeting me back in that three-legged dog, left leg high to the sky. Left knee towards right elbow, cross body hold, sliding that left foot down towards the earth, and then opening up the chest, finding that wild thing, or reverse triangle. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs, push the left palm into the earth to lift the chest a little bit higher. And then releasing the right palm down towards the earth. Left foot lifts, three-legged dog. Left knee towards the nose, round the spine, crunch it in, plant the left foot in between the palms. Pivoting that right foot to 45 degrees and then rising up for that warrior one. Feel free to make any adjustments through your alignment. We're creating that right angle with this left leg. Our back foot is pivoted to 45 degrees. Take one big inhale here. Control the breath, control the mind. You got this, yogis. Find intention with your breath. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, releasing the palms behind you, lifting the chest high to the sky. And then surrendering that heart down, finding your humble warrior. In this humble warrior, using that fist to square off the left hip, take one big inhale here. And then exhale, release the crown of the head a little bit closer to the earth, if it allows. Big move here, launching off into this left foot, finding that warrior three with bound arms. In this warrior three, bending slightly in this left knee, sending the right toes towards the earth. Keeping an up dog quality in the chest, take one full inhale here. You got this, yogis. You're stronger than you think. Releasing the right foot down, rising up, warrior one. Pivoting that right foot, committing to the bend into this left knee, finding warrior two. In this warrior two, I love finding this strong stance here. So if you're with me, you're more than welcome to play. Lifting, bringing the weight into the left toes, squaring the hips off towards the right, and then finding a cross at the wrists. Take one big inhale here, lift the chest. Exhale, straightening in both legs. Reaching forward, hinging at the hips, finding Trikonasana triangle pose. Trying not to dump all the weight into this left palm. Maybe you push into the shin. Take one big inhale here. Exhale, reverse Trikonasana. Bending into this left knee, finding warrior two for just a moment. And then straightening in both legs, pivoting the left toes towards the right side. Grabbing opposite hips here, bending in both knees, and then surrendering that heart down, finding that wide-legged forward fold. Option for inversions here if you'd like. If you're with me, I'm planting my palms underneath the shoulders, taking a halfway lift, growing taller through my spine. Exhale, release. Left palm reaches for that right ankle, opening up the chest, finding a flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Right palm towards left ankle, left palm reaches high to the sky, take a halfway lift, find that flat back. Exhale, release, back down. Bending in both knees, grabbing opposite hips here, and then rising up, avoiding hyperextension, gazes forward. Pivoting both toes towards the front of the room. And then bringing the palms to come down to frame this left foot. Left foot sweeps all the way back, maybe keeping it lifted for a one-legged chaturanga if that feels good. Tucking those elbows in towards the ribs, lowering down, upward facing dog, pull the chest through. Exhale, bringing the knees down towards the earth, big toes together to touch, finding that child's pose. Taking a moment here to ground down. Walking the palms close to the body here. Starting to slow the heart rate down, bringing the feet out in front of us, coming down onto those glutes. We're finding ourselves in this Dandasana staff pose. So in this staff pose, we're creating an L shape with our bodies. We should be so active in our feet, dorsiflexing in our fins, that our heels should magically lift off the earth. Feel the earth beneath you. Feel that strong foundation. Proud chest, crown of your head lifts towards the ceiling. Take one full inhale here. Exhale, root to rise, gazes in between the palms, and then finding that Paschimottanasana or forward fold. In this forward fold, I want you to think chest to thigh versus nose to knee. So we're keeping an up dog quality in our chest, finding that integrity of our flat back and our spine. So maybe that looks like this today with bent knees, and that's totally okay. Maybe you challenge yourself and come a little bit further with that flat back. Wherever you are enough. Take one big inhale here. Exhale, starting to walk the palms down. Bringing the palms out in front of us to grab that imaginary beach ball here. And then slow and controlled, taking your time. Coming all the way down onto the earth, vertebrae by vertebrae. Challenging yourself here. When things get tough, can we stick it out? Can we move slowly through the mud and then bloom like a lotus in the end? Slow and controlled, inviting those shakes into your practice, taking your time. And then when you're ready, releasing both shoulder blades down to the earth. Bringing both knees into the chest, giving yourself a squeeze here. And then releasing the feet back down to the earth. Taking this opportunity to bring the knees into the chest and maybe finding an inversion of your choice. So maybe that inversion is headstand or shoulder stand, or maybe it's simply legs up the wall, where you bring your feet high to the sky, letting all the blood flow down towards the hips. Whatever inversion you've chosen, can you take one breath here? Releasing that low back towards the earth. One more breath wherever you are. Take one full inhale here. And then releasing the feet, grabbing the outside, finding your happy baby. Maybe rocking back and forth to each side. Who's to say what makes your baby happy? So doing it ever feels good here. And then when you're ready, releasing everything down towards your mat. moving any blocks, any water bottles out of the way, any negative thoughts here. This is what we worked for, this moment of bliss. Can we release and bring our awareness to our bodies and our breaths? Taking one more collective breath together as a community, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, Shavasana. In the Shavasana, as we release, as we let go of the people, places, and situations that poison our well-being. Opinion is really the lowest form of knowledge. It requires no accountability, no understanding. The highest form of knowledge is empathy, for it allows us to suspend all our egos and live in another's world. It requires profound purpose, larger than the self kind of understanding. Bringing our awareness to our bodies and to our breath. Starting to bring the awareness back to our bodies, we wiggle our fingers. Inviting life back into our toes, we give those a little wiggle. Bringing both knees into the chest, giving ourselves a squeeze, thanking ourselves for showing up on our mats today for self-love and self-care. And then choosing either the right or the left side to fall onto a fetal position using your bicep as a pillow. I love what this pose represents. A fresh start and a clean slate. Knowing that every single time we step off our mats is an opportunity for us to begin again. An opportunity to have our voices heard. Repeating after me, I stand for all humans. I stand for all souls. I stand for all races. I do so in my own way, but I will not stay silent. Pushing the palms into the earth, rising up to a seated position, facing any which way you desire. Bringing the palms together, all this beautiful energy we created as a community, and down to heart center. Remembering that true change demands of us to do the work within ourselves and in the pockets of our community. Our voices matter. Our voices can be heard. Finding empathy in our daily lives. Remembering that we are much more the same than we are different. The perfectly imperfect student in me bows, honors, and respects the teachers in all of you. Namaste. Thank you so much, yogis. Thanks for joining me today. Just a reminder that 100% of all the donations today will be going to the Black Visions Collective. And if you have any questions about the class, if you have any questions about the collective, finding that comfortability in the uncomfortability to have those conversations at your dinner tables, starting to educate people. If you have any questions or if you want to learn more about this movement and what we're for, what we're doing, starting here within ourselves. Starting to find those pockets in our communities that matter, finding the things that mean the most to us, and starting to get and dive deep. So my brother-in-law says, if you're not at the dinner table, you're the one being eaten or something like that. So if you're not there, if you're not trying to make a change, if you're not trying to make an effort to get your voice to be heard, you are being silent. So whatever platform you choose, whichever way you choose yourself, choose empathy, and choose to see life in another person's perspective. Thanks so much for joining me again. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Namaste.